And as you can see, this is allowed as well.
Hi everyone.
What's happening, everyone? Here, I'm going to teach you how to play Monopoly Bid. You collect properties by winning auctions with your money. This is what you get. You get the instructions and 110 cards. Of them, there are 50 money cards, 32 action cards, and 28 property cards. The money and action cards have a red back on them, and the properties have a blue back. Shuffle all the property cards together and place them face down in a draw pile. Shuffle all the money and action cards together and deal 5 cards to each player. Place the rest of the deck next to the property deck. Make sure that you leave room for a discard pile. If your hand does not have any money at all, send them to the discard pile and draw 5 new cards. This game is played in rounds, and each round has a host. The youngest player becomes the first host, and turn order goes clockwise. In a round, if you are the host, the first thing that happens is all players draw 1 card from the deck, starting with the host. Then after that, the host can play any number and any kind of action cards that they want. I will go over what the action cards do later in the video, but just so you know that there are 4 unique kinds of action cards. During this time that the host is playing action cards, all other players may play only 1 kind of action card. Again, I'll go over it in a bit. But when this part is done, the host draws the top card of the property deck and flips it face up on the table for everyone to see. Now the auction begins. Once the auction begins, all players will select any number of their money cards from their hand to bid. When all players have made their bids, they all flip their selected money cards face up at the same time for all players to see. I will use a 2-player example for this and use this as player 1 and this as player 2. These are their bids. They are ready and they flip them face up at the same time. Let me sort these out so you can see the numbers. The player who bid the most money discards their money into the discard pile and claims that property card for that auction. For example, player 1 has 2 money cards of 4 and 2. This equals 6. Player 2 has 3 money cards of 3, 1, and 1. The sum of this is 5. Player 1's bid of $6 beats player 2's bid of $5. Player 1 wins the auction, discards their money into the discard pile, and claims the property, placing it face up in front of them. Any player who does not win an auction takes their money cards and returns them to their hand. You don't have to bid on a certain auction if you don't want to. This helps you avoid wasting money on certain properties that you don't need, or maybe you're just going to wait out until you're looking for a property that you want to bid on. If no players bid on a property, take that property and place it face down at the bottom of the property deck. Now, if there is a tie in an auction, then those tied players may raise their bids with money cards from their hands, and they may do this at the same time. After all this bidding is done from a tie, if there is a clear winner afterwards, the winner discards their money and claims the property. But if there is still a tie, the auction is over, nobody wins the property. Take that property and place it face down at the bottom of the property deck. And remember, if you did not win an auction, even if that auction resulted in a tie, take your money cards back. After a round is over, the player left of the host becomes the new host for the next round. That's the main part of Monopoly Bid. You try to win auctions by bidding with your money to win properties. There are a few things to keep in mind. At any time, even during the middle of an auction, you can make any kinds of deals with other players and trade properties and try to get complete sets. You can hold as many cards as you want in your hand. There is no limit. And if the draw pile ever runs out of cards, simply shuffle the discard pile and make a new deck out of it. Property names from the old school Monopoly board games are not used here, so don't worry about it. There's enough property cards for you to make a complete set for each color. The number shown on the bottom left of each property tells you how many of those cards you need for a complete set. Take for example, you need both of these brown cards to make a complete set, and these are the only 2 brown cards in the entire game. The same goes for all of the other colors. So it can be tricky to get a complete set in this way, but don't worry, there is one action card that can help you out. More on that in just a moment. But right now, I'm just going to get this out of the way and show you the different colors. So for the complete sets that need 2 cards, you have brown, dark blue, turquoise. And then for the sets that need 3 cards, you have light blue, magenta, orange, red, yellow, green, and the last set you need 4 of, which is a dark gray color. And also, here's the different denominations for the money. You have $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5. And finally, the action cards. Once again, there are 4 different kinds of action cards. If you are the host for a round, you may play any number of them from your hand. And once an action card has been used, send that card to the discard pile. The first one is draw 2. Draw 2 cards from the deck. Pretty straightforward. Next are wild cards. You will count these as any one property of any set. If you attach a wild card to an incomplete set, you cannot move it. Also, you cannot make a complete set with just wild cards. So because this game has complete sets of 2 of the same colored properties, you cannot make a complete set with 2 or more cards that are just only wild cards. You can play 1 wild card in front of you by itself as long as the next card that you play with it is an actual property. But this is not a good idea because of a certain other action card. So technically, these are how wild cards work. This is acceptable because I used 1 wild card to make a complete set as shown. This is also allowed. This is a proper complete set because this one is not wild, so all of them are not wild. And as you can see, this is allowed as well. With the help of wild cards, you can own both complete sets, even if they match color. Then there's the steal card. Steal any one property of your choice. You can even steal wild cards. However, you cannot steal a property from a complete set. And the last action card, simply called Nope. This is the only action card that can be played by anyone, including players who are not the host. You use this card to cancel any action card that is played. That action card gets canceled, sent to the discard pile, without an effect. This can also be used against other Nope cards. Let me give you an example. The host plays a wild card, and then someone plays a Nope card to cancel it. So if nothing else happens, this gets canceled, not used, they are both sent to the discard pile. But let's say the host plays a Nope card. This Nope card cancels this Nope card and nullifies each other, so the wild card stays in effect. But let's say that same player has another Nope card. These 2 Nope cards are nullified, they get thrown away, and this one cancels this one wild card. They're both sent to the discard pile, and the host does not get to use that wild card. By winning auctions with your money to collect properties and using action cards when necessary, the first player to complete 3 sets of properties wins the game. And that is how you play Monopoly Bid. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more, and don't forget to check out my gaming channel, Markis P Gaming, for video game Let's Play content. I will see you later, but until then, like always, take care.